Are we live? This is my second stream. Hey, what's up, peoples? So I am going to talk to you guys about one of the 100 Black Americans that helped shape this country. So when I was a child growing up, and I'm sure a lot of the black students where I grew up in Forest City, Arkansas, I'm sure they can tell y'all the exact same thing that I'm gonna tell you right now. We grew up in it was predominantly black city. I think the population percentage was like 60% black, and of course about 40% white. But white people pretty much owned everything, and there's nothing that we could do about it at the time. Our history class or in our education in general, is so far behind other countries, it's ridiculous. So I always had a problem with history. Now, history, white history, black history, is all history. But we always was taught about white history. We was never really taught about black history, and only time that we learned anything about black history was during Black History Month. And it wasn't what you think it was. It was more so Martin Luther King. That's it, for the most part. Maybe a little bit about slavery, or a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but it was not much. So if a black person didn't seek out to find anything about history or black history, then they was left without knowing. So I used to get into heated debates with my history teacher about black history and why we cannot learn our own history. And for the most part, the teachers wasn't really hearing it. So I've always had an issue with that. I hate the way our school system is, because if you think about it, blacks were slaves in this country. I think it was 310 years. So how can you not have history, black history, in this country? Because we also helped shape this country. The very first one I'm going to talk about is Crispus Attucks. As you can see, his picture there is Crispus Attucks. Crispus Attucks obviously was a slave and a patriot that gave his life for American independence. Now, when I say American independence, I'm talking about when Britain, or the British soldiers, or Britain, them pretty much bullied and controlled America. 13 original colonies, I'm thinking. But he was born in Boston, Massachusetts in 1723. He always dreamed of being free, as with all the other slaves. He always dreamed up, being free. But this man didn't know at the time that his cause in life was far greater than anything that he could have ever done. So at the age of 27, he decided to, run away. He was a runaway slave from the William Brown plantation. And what he did, what I can say this is perfect timing. Everything in life has timing. And because he waited till he turned 27, the timing was right for him to run away, because when he obviously ran away, he ran down and boarded a ship. They actually let him on the ship, and he actually loved that way of life so much that they decided to let him stay on, and he sailed all across the world for the next 20 years. The man just loved the water. It's funny how things work like that. Even we saying it today. If good things come to those who wait. And I mean, it's kind of hard to say, you had to wait to being a slave, but at that time, you had to do what you had to do to survive. Well, he was an independent thinker. He was an extrovert. Crispus Attucks, his main attribute is he was very, very brave, according to a lot of people. So again, I say he didn't know at the time that he was meant for something bigger in his life. And so on after he come off the water, he was like 47 years old. So on 5 March 1770, around about like I said, 47 years old, his dedication to freedom and liberty made history in America. So remember, I said you can't have American history or white history without having the black history, especially in the United States. On that night in 1770, there was tension all over Boston. Again, I said the British soldiers occupied Boston, and it was almost to a tipping point or a breaking point, right? So the military imposed their forces upon the citizens of Boston, and they did it at will. No matter what the outcome, they were just plain old bullies. So one night, British soldier was standing guard at the customs house, and while guarding the customs house, a young boy, a Boston native, initiated an insult toward the British soldier. So you know how little boys are. I got 5 grandsons. Okay, you thump them across the head, they cry like a little girl. Little boys do that. So this little boy kept on raining assaults at the British soldier, so he just got tired of it. The soldier responded back by striking the young boy and injured the young boy. And of course, he ran down the street screaming, hollering, doing whatever a little boy does, right? And this brought a lot of attention to the citizens of Boston, and they just all came outside and wondered what was going on, including Crispus Attucks. Well, to make a long story short, Crispus Attucks led this group of people, white people, down toward the customs house to where this soldier was at, and they were pretty much, I guess, cursing the soldier out, intimidating the soldier, throwing ice at him or throwing snow at him or whatever the case may be. And Crispus Attucks was heard saying that don't be afraid, knock him over, that they won't shoot us or they won't shoot at me or whatever the case may be. And this is actually, the soldier was getting scared. The soldier was alone and afraid, and when Crispus Attucks was insulting him, it was just, the straw that broke the camel back. So he dared the soldier not to fire at them. So guess what the soldier did? He was alone and scared, and he panicked. So British soldiers responded by firing into the crowd, and he was swinging his weapon left and right, and I think just shortly after, when the commotion started, a couple other British soldiers came out, so they all just started firing into the crowd. Crispus Attucks was hit, and he eventually died from the gunshot wound. 2 other men also died that same night. Now this right here sent a bombshell of tension throughout the land. This is what started the ultimate spark that led to the American Revolution. On that night it was called the Boston Massacre. So let me tell you how impact that this was for Crispus Attucks. Back in them days, they did not bury black slaves or even blacks in the same cemetery as they did whites. So this is what happened when they had his funeral. Thousands of people came from all over the place to honor these people that ended up, getting killed in the Boston Massacre. And Crispus Attucks, as you can see on the tombstone, his name is on the tombstone with the white people, and they honored him that that he did, and he had the bravery to stand up to these British soldiers. And this right here was the spark, actually the spark that led to the American Revolution. Now, Crispus Attucks is a great American hero. Ultimately, the American Revolution was started, and America gained its independence. I think it was 1776. I'm not sure, but to be, just to say one thing is, Crispus is an American hero. He gave his life because he wanted freedom, period. He wanted freedom for Americans, freedom for himself, and he wanted to live the life that everybody else in America wanted to live, and that is a peaceful life away from being, controlled and ruled and all that good stuff. But hey, folks, this right here is the first one I wanted to go over. There's going to be more of these small videos that I'm going to make. I got 99 more to make. I'm going to do 100 videos on great black Americans that helped shape this country. Now, what I need you guys to do is to comment and maybe, tell me how I can get a little bit better. Now, as I progress, it's going to get better. I already know this. I am still relatively new doing videos and learning a lot about this technology stuff, because I really didn't do it. But hey, if you like it, I don't know what my next one's going to be. I think it's going to be Benjamin Banneker. But anyway, if you like what I'm doing, hey, consider subscribing to my channel. I'm trying to grow this thing. But again, I thrive off comments. Please comment. If you got anything you want me to cover, put it in the comments, and I will do my research and I can do a video on it. Now, mind you, this right here is Black History, or somewhat of Black History channel, but I do other things as well. If you like it, if you watch this video all the way through, thank you, and I'll see you on the next video.